Okay, so now we're going to kind of get into the Windows live response and evidence collection. We've identified this as being a Windows system, so it's a nice transition that we go into this topic next, right? Conveniently, I've set it up that way. But we're going to go through kind of some various topics related to collecting data from Windows systems. But really, we're talking about live collection. This is going to kind of carry over to really anything, right? To any system, right? Some of the live data collection measures. The Windows-specific stuff will obviously be designed for Windows. But we're going to talk about kind of some of the volatile data collection measures, right? Primarily, we're going to focus on memory collection, which is probably something that you guys are mostly interested in. We'll also talk about kind of imaging from live systems and some of the considerations that you need to take there. Kind of understanding the environment that you're responding to. And most importantly, this is kind of like taking that step. We've done our preparation. We've asked our questions. This is actually putting it in action. This is the response phase, right? So some of the things I want to kind of talk about is kind of some of the myths about live acquisitions, right? Because, it's kind of changed now. I think people are understanding that live acquisitions are kind of a part of forensics and part of incident responses because you just need them, right, in order to collect volatile data and things like that. But for a long time, the real process was that it wasn't, the notion was that it wasn't forensically sound, right? I use that term, forensically sound, right? I hate it. I think that it's a bad term. I think it's misused because I think that people use forensically sound to be like, it's not admissible because it's not forensically sound, right? The problem is that it's really not the evidence that needs to be forensically sound. It's the process that needs to be, right? It's how you go about doing it. So if you can do it in a way that you can say, I took these steps and this is the result that I got, then that is, in my opinion, right, and I'm not a lawyer, right, but that is what's forensically sound. Because it's reproducible, right? Someone else could do it. And that's really all that matters. So one of the things that actually gets really important when you're talking about that, and we'll talk about this quite a bit, is documentation, right? That's how you're going to basically verify your process. This is what I did. This is why I did it, right? Or maybe not so much in your notes, but be able to kind of verify that later on. But this is kind of the actions that I took. The other thing is that it's not admissible in court, and that is just, that's just wrong. I think that's probably been disputed many times over at this point. It may be the best evidence or only evidence that you can get. It won't acquire all data. You can do physical images just like you could on a dead drive, and in fact, you'll have access to additional data that you wouldn't on a dead box because you'll get access to memory and so on and so forth. You can also do kind of volume-based encryption if you wanted to, or image logical files if you want to take that approach as well. So live acquisitions may be your best or only method.